Run that forward, do a little. What is going on, everybody? It is Aaron Tates and welcome back to the channel. Now today we're going to be pulling the carburetor on the Ford. Now you guys know I am very honest with you, so I can't even lie to you. I've already recorded this video and I thought the carburetor kit I had for it was brand new. Sadly it was used and I was missing a couple gaskets, so I tried to reuse some old ones and I ended up having a gasket leak or a vacuum leak, whatever you'd like to call it, and it was sucking air in from the outside of the carburetor. I found that out by spraying carb cleaner around the outside of the carburetor and it idled higher, which in the end told me that we had a vacuum leak somewhere, that I needed to re-pull the carb, buy a new kit, and go through the entire thing again. So that is what we're going to be doing today. Now, luckily, since I've already done this once, I know that there's going to be a lot of filming, so I'm going to try and not bore you with too much time lapse getting it off the truck. I am going to show you what you have to do to take it off. Under the hood, we have our air box. I want to take that off, set it somewhere to the side. Same goes with this portion of it, set it somewhere to the side. And then we have our carburetor. This is a Edelbrock 1406 600 CFM electric choke carburetor. So you'd want to unplug your electric choke. You want to take a flathead screwdriver or whatever type of clamp you have on the fuel line up here. Take the fuel line off. There's 4 7/16 nuts all the way around on mine. You're going to pop this little throttle control off right. I'm trying to do this with my left hand, but pop this off right here like so. Just like that. And then you have your throttle spring, which is a 1/2-inch screw or nut right down here. And then whatever vacuum lines you have, so like this, we'll pop that off if you have a vacuum line here or a vacuum line here. You'd want to take those off. Mine are capped off. And then you can pull it off. And I'll show you what to do once you get it all pulled off. But right now I'm going to go ahead and take all this off again for my second time and see if we can get it right this time. Alright, carburetor is completely out, as you can tell, and all in the last video that I recorded that I ended up not using any of the footage and I already deleted all of it. I did change the oil in the Ford because I found out that the oil had gasoline in it, and at first I panicked and I was like super upset. I was like, shit, something's wrong with my motor. And then did some research and found out that, oh, damn love bugs. I did some research and found out that with a poorly cleaned carburetor or a unclean carburetor that is dirty and not running properly, and put a slash in between there to go both ways, if you were trying to start it a lot and the carburetor was not properly adjusted or cleaned, it could end up dumping gas into the motor, and since it's not burning off the gas in the carburetor, it's going all the way through and ended up mixing in your oil. So I went ahead and completely did a complete oil change on the truck, put all new 10W30 oil in it, as well as a new oil filter. I did all that in the last video, but like I said, I didn't keep any of the footage because the carburetor ended up having a vacuum leak and it would be a pointless video to go through the entire carburetor, cleaning it and everything, uninstalling it, reinstalling it, changing oil, changing fuel filter, whole 9 yards, just to find out it didn't run. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to redo the entire video. I don't want crappy content like that. I'll redo the whole thing. I ordered a carburetor kit. We actually have a 1/2-inch spacer going underneath the carburetor. I bought another completely brand new fuel filter. I actually have a little bit extra fuel line that I'm going to put on. I don't think I have enough to replace all of the rubber fuel line that I have, but I do have some fuel line to replace it. I did put some fuel stabilizer in the gas tank. I've been putting some 93 in it. I'll put a little bit more in before we start it, just to keep adding new gas. Because I didn't drop the tank. I really debated on that, but I didn't feel like, honestly, I didn't feel like doing it. I should have dropped the tank, completely cleaned the tank, but I didn't. So I'm just updating you guys. I don't want to talk too much more because I know cleaning this carburetor takes a lot of time, but I did want to update you because it's stuff that I feel like you should know. So oil's been changed, have a new fuel filter, have some new fuel line, have a 1/2-inch spacer going underneath the carburetor. I'll show you all of that inside. So when we come in here, we see we have our carburetor, and we've got everything you need to clean it. Have a flathead screwdriver, a couple different Torx bits, pair of needle nose. You don't have to use a ratchet if you have Torx bits that go on like a handle screwdriver style. You can use those. I've got some picks to help pull out springs, jets, things like that, help clean out some gunk. And then here we have some new vacuum line. I'm going to be using this to replace some of the old vacuum line that might be dry rotted or cracked. We have our fuel filter. We have our carb rebuild kit. And then we have our 1/2-inch spacer. Now, this is going to help with the vacuum leak that I was having, because the vacuum leak was coming from the base of the carburetor. So it was somewhere around, actually, it was this side, the driver's side right here. It was leaking on the side. When I sprayed, it would idle up, letting me know that the leak was somewhere over here. So I got this because it comes with a new gasket on the bottom. The kit comes with a new gasket to go on top. Replace everything right there. Hopefully help out with this leak. And we're going to pull all of this apart and go through it. I'm not going to go super in depth because I don't know the exact terminology for everything in this carburetor. I'm not going to act like I know. This is honestly my second time pulling this apart by myself. Growing up, this was my first truck, and my dad did help me a lot in the past by pulling the carburetor apart, and I basically was there to learn, and that's why I know basically how to do this now. It's because my dad has taught me everything with this truck. So big shout out to my dad. I know you're watching this, so thank you, Dad. Okay, hopefully you all can see this well enough. We have our carburetor kit right here. It is a Edelbrock 1477 kit. Like always, guys, everything will be in the description down below, but I am going to show you. None of this is sponsored, bought with all my own money, just like always. So we're going to pull everything off and throw it in a trash pile over here. I've already done this once, so I kind of already have an idea what to do. But like I said, I'm not going to try and act like I know all the terminology to all this stuff. I'm just going to go through and start pulling it apart, basically. Well, now as you can see, the carburetor is all back together and all cleaned out. Now I would want to like soak it in a carb cleaning tank, but sadly I don't have a tank and I'm very impatient, so it's not gonna happen. I went through, cleaned it with Q-tips, carb cleaner. I actually put some gasoline in a spray bottle and actually sprayed it and wiped everything down with a brush and Q-tips. That's what, in between clips, because I didn't feel like moving the camera and taking it outside with me, but I did actually clean it out. But now we're going to be putting the 1/2-inch spacer under the hood. I'm hoping I don't have to change my studs. It comes with new studs, but I'm hoping my studs will be long enough, but we will see outside. Okay, so if we climb up in here, you can see I put my nuts and washers back on. So the kit comes with 2 sets of gaskets. So we're going to put one down here on the bottom. I have a feeling we're going to have to change our the studs on top of the block. Yeah, 100% we're going to have to change our studs. So scratch this. Okay, so I started sketching myself out with having this open hole in the top of my motor right here. So I figured, you know, should probably take the precaution and shut it. Because all I could think about was dropping one of those nuts in the top of my open motor and then having to tear the motor apart because I was lazy. So now I don't have to worry about dropping a nut down in there. I can put the new studs in, and then we can put the spacer on. Oh, what I had a feeling of. Fuck. Supplied head studs are too fucking short. BRB. I'm gonna figure something out. I'll pick you up when I find it out. Okay, I apologize. Sun is starting to set, but I got everything back together. I actually had to use my old studs to go on the top of the motor because the new ones from Edelbrock were actually shorter than the old ones I had. These ones were not even long enough. Right there. So I had to use my old ones and make it work. But our new fuel filter's on. Fuel line I had was too small, so using the old fuel line. Everything is hooked back up. I'm gonna start the Chevy so we can jump this off and move all my tools out of the way. And we'll see if it fires up. And if it fires up, then we'll tune the idle mixture. God, that's a hard word. Idle mixture screws. God, I sound tongue-tied as hell. I apologize, guys. I'm very tired, but we'll adjust those 2 things right there and see if we can get this damn thing running, because I am pretty tired. 1, of messing with this. 2, I haven't even been inside my house today. So let's back on up, see if it fires up. Alright everybody, it has been a couple days since the last time I've actually talked to you. The last time I recorded anything was when I was trying to get the truck started and it didn't start. So I pulled apart the carburetor the first time on Sunday, and the kit I had was missing some gaskets, and what I thought had a gasket leak because I was spraying the side of the carburetor when I was trying to get it running, and it kept idling higher. So I figured it had a gasket leak because I was missing a couple gaskets, so I had to reuse some old ones. So then I bought a whole new kit. I erased all of that footage, and I got the new kit in Tuesday, and I pulled the carburetor off, what you guys saw. I put the whole new kit in it, and still did not run. So I was like, you know what, I'm not going to pick up the camera again until this truck is running. So my dad came over Wednesday night. We pulled the carburetor again, cleaned it again, still didn't run. So we pulled it back off. He has a supersonic cleaner at his shop. Basically heats up the carburetor and vibrates it a lot to knock anything out that basically we can't see with our own eyes, and the carb cleaner wasn't getting out. So he did that. He said he did it quite a few times in the sonic cleaner, and then he brought it back over today. We put it back on the truck, and as you saw, the truck ran. He actually knocked on my door. I didn't even know he was here. Knocked on my door, and I came out and he's like, hey, your carburetor's on, let's see if it fires up. And fired up. We got it tuned, and as you saw, I recorded some of him tuning the carburetor. But I have to say, thank you, Dad. Without your help, wouldn't have got the Ford running by myself, because I wouldn't have been able to get all the crap out of the carburetor. And so he helped out a lot with that. But the Ford is running now. So sadly, we can't drive the Ford until I have brake lines for it. I'm going to have to order some brand new brake lines and get them in. And then hopefully we can drive it around the yard and then start going a little bit farther from there. Can't lift it anymore without getting the front drive shaft lengthened. I could do the 3-inch body lift, but what I want to do is drop the coil buckets, and can't do that till we get the drive shaft lengthened. So that'll be a little bit later on down the road, but for now we're going to at least try and get it drivable. But that won't be in this video, that'll be in the next video. I'm going to fire it up again. I have to hook jumper tables to it from the Chevy to the Ford and fire it up just so you guys can see it. Okay, now as you can see, the Chevy is running. It's jumping off the Ford, but fan's not spinning, Ford is not on. Come over here, open the door, jump up in here. This truck is bigger than my Chevy, so it's quite a ways up. Turn that forward, do a little just like that. Started right up. And honestly, I have to say, this is probably the best the Ford has ever ran. It didn't even run this good when I was in high school. It definitely never, ever fired up like that. So I have to say, I am very ecstatic that it actually runs. And guys, just like that, that is going to be the end of this video. If you've made it this far in the video, I really do appreciate it. And if you watched this far, go down and hit that like button, because, I mean, obviously, you must have liked this video. But the Ford is finally running. Like I said, can't drive it until we get some brake lines. It's going to happen soon. I can't promise anytime soon, because I have to order them. They have to come in with the whole virus thing going on right now. Shipping's a little bit delayed, so don't know when they'll be in. Till then, I'm going to try and get everything else buttoned up on the truck and get it ready to be able to drive. I want to do some cleaning underneath the engine bay, trying to get the engine bay tidied up, because last time I actually drove the truck, I was 18 years old, and I gotta say, I wasn't very big into clean things. I liked mudding in them and crap like that, so got a lot of cleaning to do, a lot of things to fix up from my old self. But that'll come in future videos. I want to thank you guys for watching. Like I said, if you made it this far, go down, hit the like button, drop a comment of what you'd like to see next, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. It really does help me out. And if you want any channel merch, just hit me up on Instagram and we'll get you taken care of. Alright, see you on the next one. See ya.